Hello, and welcome to another Ask Us Anything Live with me, Kate R, for Intrepid English. I'm a senior teacher with Intrepid English, and every Friday I go live on a grammar point, a pronunciation, or even vocabulary point. And so today I want to talk about a very important pronunciation point in English. Okay, so the spelling in English and how the words are pronounced are a bit confusing for non-native speakers of English. And so I wanted to cover a list of common letter combinations with silent letters. So that means letters that we don't pronounce. And so this is where these letters can be really difficult for learners of English as a second language, because why are they there if we don't pronounce them? I know, for example, Spanish pronounces really every letter in the word, but in English, we don't. So I'm going to talk about a couple of different combinations where we don't pronounce some letters. Number one, the silent B. So B is not pronounced when following M at the end of a word. For example, climb, to climb the stairs, to climb a mountain. Or crumb, the crumb from my cake, or the crumb from my toast and bread. There are crumbs on the table from when I had my sandwich. Dumb, if you are dumb, it's another word. It's a way to say, not very nice way, but it's a way I don't like these adjectives. Dumb is a synonym of stupid. I don't like those adjectives. The other one is comb, to comb your hair, to comb your hair. So this is very important. We have brushes, and I don't have any here in my daughter's room, but a brush is different to a comb. So a comb is normally long and thin, and it's got lots of teeth, and we comb our hair. Okay. The next one is silent C. So C is not pronounced when it is at the ending of a word with S-C-L-E. For example, muscle. Yeah, your muscles in your body. Okay, you have bones and muscles and skin. The next one is silent D. So D is not pronounced in these words. For example, handkerchief. We don't say handkerchief, we say handkerchief. Handkerchief. We don't pronounce the D. So that's a little cotton, the little material that people used to put in their pockets and use. For example, my grandmother always had a handkerchief. She didn't use tissues. She used her handkerchief. So that's always when you have a reusable tissue, always to hand. The next one is sandwich. Yeah, so sandwich. We don't pronounce the D in the middle. We don't say sandwich, we say sandwich. And a very common word, Wednesday. Okay, Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday. We don't say Wednesday, we say Wednesday. Okay, the next one, silent E. So E is not pronounced at the end of the words, and it usually makes the vowel long. Okay, so when E is written at the end of a word, it isn't pronounced, and it's usually making the vowel earlier in the word long. For example, hope, hope. Yeah, there's an E at the end. This is different to hop. If you hop, a bunny hops, a rabbit hops. Okay, that doesn't have an E. Hop, hop, hop. It's a short vowel sound, but hope, hope. Yeah, to have hope in the future, to have to hope, to wish, to desire. Okay. Next one, drive. So drive, to drive a car. The next one, gave, or which is the past of give. Write. Okay, to write something. We don't pronounce the E, but we're making the I a very long vowel sound. Site is the same idea. Site, the site of the building site, for example. Then we have a silent G. So G is often not pronounced when followed by an N, followed by an N. So one of my favorite drinks is champagne from the Champagne region in France. So we don't pronounce the G. Okay, we don't say champagne. Actually, that would be very French. We say champagne. Okay, foreign, foreign. We don't say foreign. Foreign. So foreign means from a different country. Sign, a sign that you can read. A door, a street sign. Okay, that will have the name of the street. The next one is you also have a silent GH. So GH is not pronounced before T at the end of many words. So a lot of them are the past simple irregulars. Thought, bought, brought, caught, sought. These are all irregular past simple verbs. And it's always, we've got GHT at the end, but we don't pronounce the GH. We write them, but we don't pronounce them. Even if there's not a T and it's just GH at the end, like through, we don't pronounce the GH. When it's got a T, it could also be light, might, right, fight, okay? Or daughter. I have 2 daughters, but I don't pronounce the GH. Okay, we also have a silent H when it's pronounced, sorry, we have a silent H when it follows a W. Okay, so when it follows a W. So when it's WH, we don't pronounce the H, except when the vowel following it is O. Okay, so when it's A, E, I, U, which doesn't exist, or Y, A, E, I, or Y, we're going to pronounce the W from the W, not the H from the H. So what, when, which, where, whether, why. But the H is silent, and we pronounce, sorry, the W is silent and we pronounce the H when it's O. So who, whose, whole. Okay. H is also pronounced at the beginning of common words. And so we use an A with a voiced H. So I have done a video of this before, and I'm going to put it in the link in the bottom of these comments of when we use A and an, because it's all dependent on the sound, not the spelling. So for example, a hill, we pronounce the H in hill. A history, a height, happy, hangover. Okay, we're pronouncing the H sound. Okay, next we have a silent K when it is followed by an N at the beginning of the word. So for example, your knee. You eat with a fork and knife. You don't say knife, you don't say knee. You know something, we don't say kno. Knowledge. Okay, you have a knack for something. It means you're good at something. You have a knack for it. Then L is silent when it is before another L, D, F, M, or K. So for example, before an M, calm, balm. Okay, salmon. Okay, when it's before an F, half. You don't say half, half. When it's before a D, would, should, could. Okay, the silent N is when it's followed by an M. So for example, autumn, hymn. Okay, rhythm. We don't say autumn, autumn. We just pronounce the M. P is not pronounced at the beginning of many words, especially when it's with the suffix psych. Okay, psychiatrist, psychotherapy, psychotic. Okay, that's PSYCK, psych. P-S-Y-C-K, but we don't pronounce the P. Or, for example, my nephew recently had pneumonia. Okay, that's the problem. It's the big, big chest infection in the lungs. Pneumonia. Again, we don't pronounce the P. Then we have S when it is before an L in common words. We don't pronounce the S. For example, castle. No, sorry, not castle. Island. Okay, the S is silent. Isle, island. Then we have a silent T in these words. So, for example, castle. That's why I was thinking castle, because the S and the L. Christmas. Fasten your seatbelts. We don't pronounce the T. Often. Now, you will sometimes hear people saying often. Okay, I personally say often. Whistle. Whistle. We don't pronounce the T. Thistle. If you're in Scotland, that's the flower of Scotland is a thistle. We also have a silent U before G and before a vowel. So, for example, guess. We don't say guess. Guidance, guitar, guest. Okay, they're all silent U's. We have a silent W at the beginning of the word, followed by an R. So, wrong. You are either right or you're wrong. To write, as we said before. Wrap, to wrap something up, to wrap a present. Also, as I mentioned before with W, there was the whole with an H. If it's A-E-I-Y, we pronounce the W. The W. If it's followed by an O, we pronounce the H. Whole, whose, whom, who. So I hope that helps. I know that's it, but this is unfortunately things you have to learn to have great pronunciation, because remember, it's not about the accent, it's about being clear and saying the right sounds, but it's not about your accent, it's about pronouncing it clearly and using the right sounds. So if you are pronouncing the wrong letters, that's got nothing to do with accent, and that is not helping your pronunciation, and it is not helping you be understood. So I hope these rules, these little examples of where we have silent letters, will help you in your pronunciation and therefore help you in your English. So that's bye from me for today, and I hope to see you next week when I will talk about a very interesting vocabulary point. See you.